Ooh. Flashy lights. What?
Oh, yeah. What does that say? Drink at 200.
That's good, isn't it?
It's got to be good. It's been a while.
Fantastic. Oh.
Oh.
Oh no. I think we've had a death in the family.
Oh no.
I guess this means that Flash has flickered his final fleck. Well, I feel kind of sad now.
Oh. Oh dear.
Oh well. Let's move on. It's fine. Give it half an hour and we can send out War Rocket Ajax to bring back his body.
Oh.
Hello?
Hello? Sorry I'm late, boys. Sorry.
All right.
I finally watched the films.
Oh, fantastic.
So, finally watched They Live and Big Trouble in Little China. I've got all prepared, I've got all my notes all sorted, and I get this right, I got the title.
Mm-hmm.
I came here to chew bubble gum and cause big trouble in Little China.
Do you want to tell him or shall I?
What?
That was last time, dude.
Last time?
Mm.
What?
But as you're here, you may as well stick around.
Yes, join us. Join us.
Join us.
Maybe movies.
Good morning, Vietnam! Or wherever you happen to be in the world.
Yeah.
Hello, we are Maybe Movies, a film-based show that almost defies classification. We're part movie review, part character analysis, part movie mashup, and everything else beneath that.
Indeed.
My name is Max, and I'm joined, as always, by my regular host,
Sam.
and our guest host,
Chris.
Yay! Of course, if we were doing the porn version of this, then we would be doing Mammary movies.
You had to go there, didn't you?
Did I go too far?
No,
New YouTube show.
Probably not.
Thank you for joining us once again. First of all, I just want to say a quick shout out to all of our new subscribers. Thank you very much for your support. As a result of which, we are now past 150 subscribers.
Yay! Thank you.
You seem to like that in the void as well. And racing up hopefully towards 200 so we can crack open another bottle of my strange homebrewed concoction.
They're actually quite nice, though.
9 times out of 10. Before we go any further, there is just the small matter of our results from last month.
I almost forgot.
If you were with us in June, you'll know that we were getting fast and loose with Big Trouble in Little China and They Live. I ran the poll at the time for about a week because I knew we were going to be off for a month. And then, just to be on the safe side, I ran it again over the past couple of days just to give people another chance before we film this.
Okay.
So, on the original poll, it was a bit disappointing. We had 1 vote, which was for Big Trouble.
Okay.
On the one that I did the other day, we had 8 votes.
Okay.
Which is fantastic. So, in total, the most we've had so far.
Excellent.
And it came out 63% for Big Trouble.
Okay, so Big Trouble it is.
Right, yeah.
Another winner.
You're on a roll with this, aren't you?
Thank you very much. As always, there will be a thing here that to remind you of which one won. And I was very pleased with that one because I managed to find a workable font that I could write stuff in that was as close to the original They Live font.
Oh, wow,
For when I
okay.
was designing my mock-up of the DVD cover.
Oh, nice.
So, he's back.
He's back.
And he's not the only one who's back. He's back as well!
Oh, Trent is here.
Good to see you, buddy.
No, he's not saying anything again. I mean, after all of that.
I don't get it. I thought we were communicating and things.
Yeah, we had a good rapport going on there, man.
I thought so. What happened, buddy?
That's great. If you were with us at the end of the last show in June, you'll know that our movies for this month, for our second birthday,
Good Lord.
yes, are... Which reminds me, because you were here for our last birthday, weren't you?
I believe so, yes.
For Noel and I and...
Yes, that's correct, yeah.
Fear and Loathing.
Oh, yes.
The
It's
iconic
becoming a thing.
moment, yeah.
Which means you'll have to come and join us then when we do the movies actually for it.
Yes, you will, yeah.
Yeah?
It's a long way down the line because we're doing one a month.
Oh, right, okay.
But yes.
Yeah.
Our movies for this month are Zulu.
And Predator.
Yeah. We just like to stick it in and break it off.
It's going to require some thought.
Yes. A complete aside, and I know it's going to wind you up. I'm sorry. Just going to talk about it very briefly. Do you think the makers of Stranger Things were a fan of Predator?
I see what you're saying. Well, there's a lot of 80s love in there, but I didn't think about that specifically, but you've got a point.
Yes. Yeah.
Things going like this.
Well, there's that, and there's also I knew these men, Green Berets out of Fort Bragg,
Yeah.
led by Captain Jim Hopper.
Oh, God, I'm just so daft sometimes.
The voiceover in this is by Richard Burton.
I thought I recognised it, but I didn't carry my thoughts much further than that.
Weird kind of Richard Burton doing voiceover in some kind of mash-up Predator film.
Oh, that would be quite cool, actually, yeah.
It
Yeah.
would.
When are you guys going to decide about the titles? Is this at the end?
I've had a bit of a thought. It's a bit of a reach, but we'll come to
So it
that.
sounds like it's going to be the most trickiest one.
Yeah, that's normally the last thing that I do. So, I mean, this one, it's kind of like an early build-up towards spooky season, because for this to work, we're having to swap our antagonists as opposed to our heroes.
I thought as much, yeah. Well, no, we have to because of the time frames.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
1817, 1980. They just don't fit.
I mean, it works putting the Predator in this. That's fine, because we know that they've been hanging around for
Hundreds of years.
It'd be pretty cool, though, to have Arnie fighting a tribe of Zulu warriors in Zulu.
It would be.
That would be pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, when I sat down and thought about it, at first I thought it was going to be really difficult. I mean, and there are certain things that we might want to consider about it, but like fitting the Predator into that place and that time works. Mm-hmm. We know they've been here visiting Earth for a long time.
We've even got an approximation of the folklore that Anna talks about in Predator, because obviously if they've been visiting there repeatedly,
Yeah.
the Zulus will have some kind of lore or mythology about them.
Mm.
How much of that we will see in the final product, we don't know, but...
On the other hand, they're in the savannah, so no jungle to hide in very easily. There are no trees to climb about in, things like that. And also, there's 120 of them.
Yes.
I'm not saying this is what I want to do, but I'm going to ask the question, should we consider the possibility that there may be more than one Predator involved in this story?
Interesting thought. I would probably leap more towards the idea of just keeping it to one.
Just keep it to one. I mean, they've got a lot of...
We can vote on it.
They're not going to have any idea of what that technology is and things like that. There's going to have a lot of disadvantages. There's no minigun.
Although, again, I did think you've got a reasonable foil there in the rifle wall that they do. That's the nearest thing that you're going to get to the minigun.
Yeah.
Which is like the Victorian equivalent of it.
Yeah, it's an impressive watch, yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of going with Chris that it should be one, but I'm not taking it off the table altogether.
Right, okay.
I'd be quite happy...
we should wait and see how things go.
Exactly, yeah. If we go down a particular route and that we have to just suddenly go, actually,
Maybe
over here...
there should be another one.
Yeah, then...
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll discuss that in the... So now the other problem is this one's a little more difficult because this is set in South America. Mm-hmm. You don't get Zulus in South America.
No, we're gonna have to...
So either we move their action, their location, or we substitute the Zulus for some theoretical local tribe?
My initial thought was we invent some previously undiscovered tribe living in that area, especially that particularly dense area of jungle which they have to travel through to get to the chopper.
Yeah.
And they encounter them as they're moving through.
Does that sound reasonable to you?
So they're not actually Zulu warriors?
Yes,
Because I thought that would defeat the point of...
They are tribal warriors. It's the nearest we can get, unless we want to move it to somewhere like the
Un-
Congo.
unless, yes,
But then
we
a
could-
Predator wouldn't
Yeah, we
work
could
well
move to
in
the
its...
Hmm?
Well, the Predator wouldn't be overly comfortable in its surroundings if it was going in the Sahara in that one. So surely if you had the Zulus in the
There
jungle,
are-
it makes no difference anyway if you're going to have the Predator in the Sahara, which it wouldn't want to be in.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
So are you proposing we just say the hell with history and stuff and just go with the story?
Like, yeah, if you literally just hypothetically put them, just swap those characters around. So, I mean, if you had the Zulu...
There are lots and lots of primitive tribes in Central America. It's conceivable. The Zulus are a primitive civilization. It's not that much of a stretch. And lots and lots of black slaves were imported during the conquistador times. It's because there's a large black population in Brazil, isn't there?
There is. At some point, a group of slaves escaped their captors, escaped into the South American jungle, and went
resumed
back to their
Zulu
tribal
ways.
ways.
Yeah.
But instead, because they've got obviously lots of surrounding trees, we can throw that in, that they've developed, that they use the trees in the same way the predator does.
So with the tribe going into the jungle, is that still South America?
Yes.
Still going to be South America?
Yeah. It's just this particularly dense bit of foliage, which is why nobody ever goes through there. They have to go there before to get across the border for them to extract the team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they just trespass on their territory, and they don't take too kindly to it.
Which is like, yes, there are 4,000 of them,
Mm-hmm.
and etc. But they are fighting with hide shields and spears, and they have a minigun.
Mm-hmm.
That's at least 1,000 rounds right there.
Yeah, yeah.
That works for me. I mean, in terms of acts for them, for Zulu, I called this as end of Act 1, turning over the wagons.
Turning over the wagons, right? Okay, yeah.
I know obviously you haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but
No, I've been watching They Live in Big Trouble in Little China.
you obviously didn't get the
Hang on a
email.
second.
You fool!
It's stupid. I only watched it a few hours ago. But do they turn over the wagons before they hear the Zulu come?
It's when it's
It's when they lock up the preacher and turn over the wagons.
Yeah,
and stuff.
he's still pleading with them to let them
But
take
it's
the wounded.
pretty much the next scene when the Zulus arrive, isn't it?
It's about a third of the way through.
Okay. Yeah.
There was either two. It was either that, or it's when the Zulus appear on the hill.
Because when the Zulus appear on the hill, that's at the 57-minute mark.
That's why I didn't pick it.
Yes, but in a 2-hour 18 film, all right, which takes you then through the first things until basically the buildings are set on fire,
Mm-hmm.
and then they get that reprieve overnight,
Yeah.
and they and that feels like the end of Act 2 to me,
'Cause
which is about 45-50 minutes to 1 hour 45, 1 hour 50 minutes, and then the last act is that 30-40 minute last point.
I had a number of choices for the end of Act 2. It was either going to be when Stanley Baker comes out of the once he's been healed up after he got clipped in the neck the day before, and he comes out of the infirmary, and there's a couple of the other guards going, "Can you crawl?" Because they're going to go and hand out bullets, and there's just a look comes over him. It's almost like it's stealing his resolve.
Yeah,
Seeing his men like this, so that was one. Or it was when there's the stampede.
right. They're all mid-action points.
I did also put down Dawn as well, which would have been Dawn on the second day.
Yeah, that's the one because
Yeah,
the building gets set on fire and then they get this night's reprieve and there's a lull in the action for about 10 or 15 minutes.
Yep,
And then they come back and it's the last big push and everything gets really, really desperate.
that works. Okay, so we'll go for Dawn for end of Act 2.
Yeah.
And which one? So do you want to go on the hill for the end of Act 1?
I know it's a long... I mean, this is the thing, because obviously when you bring in the Predator into things, he's probably going to start messing with them before the Zulus start. Sorry, by the way, I was thinking about this earlier on and I didn't say it at all. My premise in Zulu is that the events are still happening. Mm-hmm. The Zulus have massacred the 1,200 troops.
Yeah.
They are trying to fortify their place in expectation of a Zulu attack. But what they get first is the Predators.
I was wondering how we were going to do that. I think that's...
Oh, okay, yeah.
If you would agree.
Yeah.
That's,
Oh, thank you.
it gives us a model to write from.
I was
Yeah.
going to need this.
Very quickly, before we look at our acts for Predator,
Yeah.
I just want to quickly turn your attention to a quick word from our sponsor. And the sponsor for this video is us. Maybe Movies is part of the Zadrum channel, which is part of Zadrum, a small business that I started in 2016 to bring the works of 3 generations of writer to a new reading audience. This was kind of like a side project which has taken off and taken on a life of its own, which is fantastic. So at the moment we have 3 books out, one by each of our authors. The first of which, and the one that really kind of started the whole thing off, is Verboten, which was written by my grandfather under his pseudonym Sidney Esmond and was published in 1940. Like a lot of my grandfather's early books, they were written during and set against the backdrop of World War II. And this one is about Harry Deller, an English schoolteacher who, on an exchange programme in Germany, finds himself having to cope with allegations of espionage by the local Gestapo at the start of the Second World War. We then have The Refugees from Daffodil Cottage, which was the only work published by my father during his lifetime, and it's a children's book, kind of pitched perfectly for children of 7 or 8 years over. It has similarities to things like Watership Down, with a little bit of The Animals of Farthing Wood, and I think one reviewer said that it had just a smattering of Animal Farm in there as well. And then we have Book of Squalor, which is my own entry into our list of titles at the moment. It's a collection of short horror fiction comprising some prose, some poetry, and even a short screenplay as well. All 3 of the books are available as paperback or as ebooks, either from our Zadram website, a link in the description below, or also from Amazon as well. But of course, if you are going to buy, then please do come and buy from our shop, because that way you'll know that we're going to get more of the money than Amazon will, and maybe we can just stop Jeff Bezos destroying Lord of the Rings any more than he already has. Maybe. Who knows? Anyway, thank you for listening, and now back to the show. Predator, what did you have?
Predator has always felt pretty clean to me, at least with its first act, because they go in and they do the job, and everything's fine and dandy. They win, they wipe, one guy gets a cut on his shoulder, poor him, everything's fine and dandy. Then they start trying to make their way out of the forest, and that's when they start being followed and hunted. Mm-hmm. So it's either literally like the end of the fight, or that bit, the bit when the Predator is spying on him, when he's got the scorpion on his back, and he starts trying to copy their speech and stuff.
That's what I thought, because again, that's the lull after the action. I put Assault, or that's the end of Act 1.
Yeah. I pretty much put at the end of the Assault when they come and invade the village and kill all the bad guys, and basically that'd be the end of Act 1 for me.
Fantastic.
I had 2 possibilities for the end of Act 2.
Mm-hmm.
Either when Billy dies, or the bit when he goes over the waterfall and gets covered in mud, and the Predator doesn't see him, and he goes right and starts planning to take a plan of attack.
You called it a lot later than me. I called it. The start of Act 3. Once they'd finished doing after the little montage of them setting up the trap.
Oh right, that makes a very short Act 2. That makes Act 2 like 20 minutes long.
Does it?
Yeah. Yeah, it moves at hour 48. The time we called for the end of Act 1's about 32, 33 minutes. And that point's about 52 to 55 minutes.
A bit later than that. I was keeping an eye on time, so I should have written them down. But either of those would do. I mean, what do you think?
Is it really 20 minutes? It's only just 20 minutes then.
See, I didn't want to call it as late as that. I did think about that point, but it felt like that would left too little at the end of the film. If you compromise and call it after the trap is sprung.
Yeah, all right. I mean, that's mere minutes before.
It's about the same.
It's again, at that point, it all happens really fast.
Yeah. Right, I've had a go at names for these. Obviously, I can't just do the usual thing of switching words out because it's not going to work.
You're not making up words as well, I'm assuming, no?
No, well, what I've done is I've tried to all I could think of for Predator would be either something like tribe or tribal, because obviously they're a tribe, and there are tribal elements to a small unit, military unit like that.
Yeah.
So,
Tribal.
Tribal or tribe, whichever we decide.
Yeah, I like it. What do you think?
I like both. Probably tribe, because it makes a bit
It's
more
more
plural, and
it's the tribe, isn't it?
Yeah. Predator is that, and then you have tribe.
Yeah. Okay.
Fantastic. And for Zulu, I was looking at... I was thinking, look, they're all wearing pith helmets. I know. If we riff on the expression of the Great White Hunter and make the movie called The Great White Hunted.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I love that.
Does that work?
Yeah.
And it makes it makes even more sense when you think that obviously Predator is played by a 7'1" black man.
Oh yes, of course, yes.
was it?
Can be the whole, yeah.
Is that the same with Alien as well? It was played by a big, tall black guy.
I don't know.
I think the first alien was a black dude. He was a contortionist, I think.
He's like 6'5".
He's 6 foot something, and he's a contortionist, which is why he was able to do that bit where the alien unfolds himself from the
Christ, nice.
from the stuff. Yeah, he was the thinnest, tallest guy they could find.
Yeah, I think I've seen an old picture of that.
I don't even think he was an actor. I think he was a gymnast or something.
That would make sense to you. Doesn't have so many lines.
Yeah.
No.
Covered in goo. Which one do you want to do first?
Should we just do that in that order? So Tribe and then The Great White Hunted?
Okay then.
Okay, yeah. So, please do come back and join us next Wednesday when we will be looking at Act 1 of Tribe, where Dutch and his team find themselves going up against a marauding band of natives.
Indeed. Should be interesting.
Until then, as always, have a great weekend, have a great start to next week, and we will see you on Wednesday.
As always, guys. TTFN.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Ba 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 ba.